Are you wondering, should I buy a gun? I mean, it's a pretty simple question on the surface level, but I think it's one worth digging deeper into. I asked myself this question when I was thinking about purchasing a firearm, and I hope maybe that my personal thought process here might help you consider something you haven't thought of yet. Listen, ultimately, firearm ownership is your personal decision, and I hope you do what's right for you and your lifestyle. The first thing I asked myself when I was considering a firearm was, why did I want a gun? I mean, did I want it for self-defense, target practice, hunting, or just simply to exercise my right as an American citizen to own one? For me, it was a combination of reasons, and in your case, it might be the same for you. I mean, honestly, if you just want to exercise your right to own a firearm because you can, then in my opinion, you should have at it. It's a uniquely American right and is just as valid as any other reason. But understanding your why not only gives you a purpose for owning a firearm, but it'll help dictate what your first firearm purchase might be. This leads me to point number 2, responsibility. Firearm responsibility doesn't end when you lock your new gun into your safe. In my opinion, you don't want to be the person who buys a firearm, some bullets, and then locks it away, never to look at either of those things ever again. It's like someone who dreams of becoming a chef, and they buy an expensive knife and then leave that knife in the drawer, never to learn how to use it. Even worse, when the opportunity finally comes to cook for someone, they end up taking that knife out and then cutting themselves because they have no idea what they're doing with that said knife. When I figured out my why, I realized I had to weigh the responsibility that came with it. If I were buying a gun for self-defense, for example, that would mean investing time and training and education to ensure that I could successfully achieve that why. I mean, really, do you think you're going to be able to use your firearm the first time ever while you're under extreme distress? Personally, I don't think so. Training and firearm education are the biggest upgrades you can make to your firearm, period. Listen, your gun is going to gun. You're the one that's going to be messing it up. Getting proficient and confident handling your firearm is going to give you the biggest advantage out there, hands down. Also, if you live with someone, be respectful. Have a conversation with them before showing up with your brand new firearm. Understand that education may not just stop with you. If you live with someone or have kids, that's going to add an additional level of complexity to your original question. For me, I had a conversation with my wife when we discussed my reasonings for wanting a firearm, and I listened to her thoughts and concerns about having one in the house. Since I didn't own a gun before we started living together, this was the first time we'd ever have to address the topic. One thing that I think isn't mentioned enough in the conversation around gun responsibility is mental health. In my opinion, I think you really need to be honest with yourself here. Are you in the right mindset and mentally stable when it comes to making important decisions? If you're feeling depressed, lonely, overwhelmed with anxiety, extremely angry, sleep deprived, or taking some medications that might affect your judgment, it is crucial to take those conditions into account. Talk to a professional, get help, speak to your doctor, and most importantly, don't feel embarrassed or ashamed. Okay, people are here to help, and we all want you to be safe. If there's any doubt in your mind that your mental health or medication could impact your ability to responsibly own a firearm, take a step back, seek advice, and make sure you're truly ready before making that decision. All right, now that you put some serious consideration into this question of should I buy a gun, and you decide that you've made up your mind, the next step is the actual buying process. It can be intimidating for a first timer. I'm not gonna lie, I felt like an idiot and had no idea how to go about it. Honestly, I could probably make a whole video on the topic, but I'm not gonna go into the nitty gritty here because laws drastically vary state to state. But I do want to share what I did and felt as a first timer in a gun shop because it may help you feel a bit more comfortable. Let's bring it back to your why for buying a firearm. This reason will guide your conversation and decisions, giving you clarity and confidence during your research and discussion at the gun shop. If you're wise to get into hunting, for example, there'll be specific types of firearms suited to that purpose. The experts at the gun shop can definitely help you choose based on what you plan to hunt, your local laws, and what guns fall within your budget. I'd focus on your needs rather than getting overwhelmed by every detail and feature of each firearm. A knowledgeable salesperson can recommend a good option that fits your why and budget. Remember, you're not obligated to make a purchase during your first visit, and in many states, there will be a detailed process before any money changes hands. Use the internet and YouTube to your advantage. After your visit, you can read reviews, compare prices, and watch videos about the recommendations that you received. Don't rush. Take your time to make an informed decision. Finally, remember that your first gun doesn't have to be your last. If you're passionate about firearms, there's always the option to upgrade or add more to your collection later. I love to ask questions. Don't pretend to know if you don't know. I wanted to buy a handgun, so I went down to my local gun shop and asked them how to go about doing that legally in my state. There's no shame in asking questions. If a gun shop owner starts looking at you sideways for asking how to be their new customer, then they're the ones that look stupid, not you. The staff at my local shop were super friendly. They gave me all the necessary info I needed, plus some tips on how to start the process with my state and local police department. Now, contrary to what the media says, gun shop isn't gonna give you a gun and send you on your way. Don't believe the propaganda and the nonsense. Once I finally got my permit from the state to purchase my handgun, I went back to my local shop. Again, I didn't pretend to be something I'm not. I let the staff know that I was there to buy my first gun, and the key is that you want to set your expectation and understanding that you're new and you need help from someone who knows firearms. A good gun shop will show you a bunch of different options for your budget and application. The staff should let you hold them to test out how they feel in your hand, and give you guidance on what to consider between each make and model. Now, if you never handled a firearm before, there's definitely something to remember when you're handling a gun. Number one, don't put your finger on the trigger, don't pull the trigger, and don't point the gun at anyone in the store while you're looking at it. If you want to do something like test the trigger or whatever, just ask the staff that is helping you if it's okay to do so. Ask questions. You're new and it's okay. The staff should be understanding, and they're most likely going to be eager to help you. Once you found the right firearm and you're satisfied with your choice, the last thing to do is to buy the firearm and enjoy being a new gun owner. Congratulations, you've not only taken the time to carefully think through your decision, but now, hopefully, you've got yourself an awesome firearm that's about to open the door to countless new experiences. Whether that's the satisfaction of mastering marksmanship, the thrill of hitting the range, or the pride of owning something that's uniquely yours, this is the start of a rewarding journey. From tinkering with upgrades to honing your skills, the joy of firearm ownership go far beyond the purchase itself. Thanks for watching this video. Drop your comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more great content. I'll catch you next time.